This is a special report from ABC News Digital.
I'm Tanya Rivero in New York. This is an ABC News Digital special report. A wildfire that began yesterday in Camarillo, California, about 20 miles inland from the Pacific, is burning its way southwest toward Malibu this afternoon, charring at least 10,000 acres in its path. We're going to take you now on the ground to Camarillo, where KABC's Darsha Phillips is there, tracking the path of the fire and the efforts to contain it. Hi there, Darsha. What's the latest?
Yeah, this firefight is far from over. We're actually in a canyon just north of Pacific Coast Highway where the beach is, and you can see just how much this fire has burned out. Now, we were actually moved away from the ridge. You see a flare up there. Just beyond that ridge, there was just a wall of flames, and we were actually moved out because it was a bit dangerous to be there. This fire is creeping up this canyon into where a pocket of homes are, actually, and fire crews are really trying to save those homes. They're dousing the brush with water. They're also dousing the homes with water, making sure they don't go up in flames. Now, this fire is being fought from the ground and from the air, really concentrated in this area because of those homes, because of that pocket of homes. We're on a road called Deer Creek Road. A lot of folks, actually this entire community, evacuated from this area, and you can see fire crews here on the ground. They actually have hand crews going in, trying to stop these hot spots because this canyon has a lot of brush right now, a lot of bone-dry brush that this fire is just eating away at. It's just fuel for this fire, which is making it very difficult for fire crews to get ahead of it. Now, also, we do have the weather that's playing a factor. We have low humidity right now and also some winds. The winds have considerably died down, but because we're in a canyon, we do have this wind effect that comes through it, this kind of swirling wind effect that'll create sort of a firestorm, really, that makes it very dangerous for crews and also makes the fire behavior very erratic and very unpredictable. So, of course, there's a lot of obstacles we're dealing with here, a lot of obstacles that fire crews are having to get around. Also, the roads, some of them not passable because rocks have been falling off the cliffs and blocking some of the roads. We've got wildlife here, a lot of deer, a lot of bunnies that are just trying to escape this fire. This fire has moved so quickly that it's actually overtaken a lot of the wildlife, which is very sad. They haven't been able to move out of here. They haven't been able to run fast enough to get away from these flames. Now, again, we are very close to the ocean. Crews are believing that this fire is going to burn to the coast, which is the best scenario possible because it'll stop there. But you can see what they're dealing with, these massive flare-ups that happen at a moment's notice. And fire crews, some of them just have to stand back and watch, make sure that it's just burning away from the homes because there's so many of these hot spots, so many of these flare-ups that it's very difficult for crews to kind of put them down at times. We have crews spread all around this canyon. This is the Santa Monica Mountains, and there's several canyons here. And again, like I said, a lot of dry brush, a lot of issues that fire crews are having to deal with, and crews really kind of bolstering their efforts right now, hoping that the weather changes toward them and the wind keeps dying down because, of course, like I said, this firefight is far from over for these crews. Back to you guys.
All right, KABC's Darsha Phillips on the ground in Camarillo, California. Thank you for that. We're joined now by AccuWeather's Violeta Yaz. Violeta, thanks for joining us. Can you tell us what is driving this fire? How is it moving so fast?
Well, there are definitely a couple of things going on here, but I would say the biggest issue has definitely been the dryness. There are numerous fires burning across California. Of course, most notably right now, the Springs fire, about 10,000 acres already burned. And the fire only about 10% contained right now. So very, very dry because let's keep in mind, California picks up most of its rain, most of its seasonal rain in the winter months, let's say between November and also the months of April. Well, places like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and even San Diego have only picked up anywhere from 50 to 60% of their seasonal average. So very, very dry, and also the winds have definitely not been helping. It's been very, very gusty, although the good news is the winds have peaked and they will continue to subside through tonight and also in through the course of tomorrow.
Yeah, Violeta,
now,
for
another
those
thing
of us
that is definitely...
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but for those of us not from California, can you explain the significance of those Santa Ana winds?
Well, it's definitely has a lot to do with it. Of course, the direction of the wind has a lot to do with in which direction the fire will spread, so that's certainly not helping. The dry weather, of course, not helping. But again, the good news is conditions will become less favorable in terms of the wind, not so much in terms of the dryness, because we really don't have any additional significant precipitation in store for California. But the good news is the winds will start to subside, and that can at least help a little bit as we head into the weekend.
So there is some relief ahead, you see, Violetta.
Yes, certainly with the winds. Again, those will start to diminish through tonight and in through the course of the weekend, but the dry weather is definitely here to stay. Again, a lot of these places have only picked up about half of their seasonal rain totals, but another good thing that we have in store is the temperatures will be coming down. It was very, very hot. Actually, for the last couple of days. Today, the heat peaked. A lot of 80 and 90-degree temperature readings, but we've got a disturbance here that's going to be moving into northern California, and that's going to trigger a wind shift, because right now what we have going on, high pressure is sort of taking all of the desert air and shoving it westward. So that's why it's been so warm. But the winds, as we head into the weekend, will finally start to come in out of the Pacific, so that'll allow for not only cooler temperatures, but that will also allow for some Pacific air to advance into these areas that definitely need those relative humidities to come up.
Well, that's good news for sure. Now, what can you tell us about those northern fires? We're not hearing as much about those, obviously not as dramatic, but how are those doing?
Again, the Panther fire, I would say, is the second to largest, I guess, in comparison to the Springs fire. I believe about 6,000 acres burned there. Also having a hard time containing those. But again, the thing is, there are numerous fires because the state of California as a whole is dry. But again, the quicker that we can get these winds to diminish, the quicker conditions will be in our favor.
All right, AccuWeather's Violetta Yas, thank you so much. And for all the latest on the Springs fire in Southern California, watch for updates on abcnews.com. I'm Tanya Rivero in New York. We're going to take you back now to our regular programming.
This has been a special report from ABC News Digital.